So with that in mind, my first pick is the Giants. Plus 4.5 at home. I make this around 3. So I think you're getting an extra 1.5 or so. I'm waiting to see if I can get a 5, seeing where this market goes. What you have to understand is that, I mean, this line was, 9 a couple weeks ago in Philly when Eli Manning's first start. And, take some home field and other situational factors. This line should be right around 3. Now, what you have to keep in mind is in that game, Zach Ertz dominated. 2 touchdowns, was dominant. They are probably going to be without him. They signed Richard Rodgers off, which means that they're worried about him playing. This Eagles team, I didn't learn much about last week. Anything new? They still can't cover downfield, and apparently Dak's shoulder was hurt because Dallas didn't try to throw downfield for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming that's the reason why. But their corners are still vulnerable. They still have no weapons on the outside. This is the Giants Super Bowl, division rival up in New York, knock Philly out. I mean, this is a team that just – look, the Eagles beat the Cowboys. No one wanted a part of the Eagles last week. Now everyone wants a part of the Eagles this week. This is still the same Eagles team that lost to the Dolphins, that had needed a comeback against the Redskins, that needed to come back and win in overtime at home against the Giants. This team is not that good, people. They don't have weapons on the outside. It's mainly their defense. It's like their trenches and they don't even have Ertz, their best player on offense. So the 4.5 is too many here. I think the Giants win this game, to be honest, and it'll come down to – the Cowboys are going to sneak into the playoffs. That's the fitting end of the NFC East, by the way.
I mean, you just made me want to change one of my picks because that's a really good point. I think the Giants have receivers to actually exploit, down the field. I mean, they have Shepard, Tate, and Slayton. I know he was kind of in and out of that game last week, but I think he should be fine. Latimer obviously stepped up, but the Giants have some guys, when they're healthy at receiver, even without Evan Ingram, that's a pretty good trio of receivers and a pretty productive fourth receiver in Latimer. So
yeah, saw Slayton. What he had two bomb touchdowns the first time they played in Philly.
Right. Yeah, and then he had like 2 targets and no catches last game, but I think he spent a portion of that game on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he was back in late, and they targeted him, I think, on the play or 2 before they won the game to Caden Smith with the touchdown. So he should be fine. And he's going to be the key for them. But I think people underestimate, a guy like Sterling Shepard, who everyone's kind of, joking on the Giants. You got like 3 slot receivers. Well, Shepard's been playing on the outside a lot more and playing well. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a tough game for the Eagles, and they keep losing key guys on offense. And at some point, you just have to wonder, and it's already pretty much caught up for them. I mean, they have no explosiveness. They're lucky that a guy like Greg Ward, has been able to step up and give them 4 or 5 catches and take, 7, 8 targets a game and make them, league average productiveness. Or they would kind of be sunk. They're lucky they have a number 2 tight end that's as good as most teams' number 1 in Dallas Goedert, or they'd really be sunk. So, yeah.
By the way, if you're looking into NFL futures and we talk about them, I don't believe in this Eagles secondary, which is ultimately what I think will be their downfall. But they have the offensive line, they have the defensive line, they have the quarterback, the tight end. Sanders is coming along. And if you believe in them based on matchups to get, to the second round, and then you get Deshaun Jackson potentially back. That's one of those things that I don't think any other team that's going to make the playoffs that I'm thinking about it is going to have, a Watt will really help on defense. And he's one of the most, I think him and Donald are probably the 2 most worthwhile as far as to the spread defenders in the NFL. So Watt is one of those guys on the defensive end in the AFC. But getting a player back of Deshaun Jackson's caliber, and it's not that he's the best receiver in the NFL, it's how important he would be to opening up everything else in that offense and giving them a deep threat. So, but they don't have that right now. It's vertically challenged, but it's something to think about. I mean, it's going to be their second playoff game. They'd have to get there. They'd have to win this weekend too to get in. But if they get in and they win a game and then get him back and he comes in and he's able to open up their passing game vertically, which will open it up underneath and to those tight ends, it's an interesting addition. But right now, that offense is it's hard to watch. And nothing about last week changed my mind in that sense.